How do we avoid wasting our life at work? It is not rare to hear an individual complain that he or she has spent years, decades working somewhere, and it was all, quote unquote, a waste of time or a waste of life. I somehow fell into this profession. 20 years flew by, perhaps 50 years flew by, and here I am, and I've got nothing to show for it. How do we avoid that? So, one thing to clarify would be that time is wasted relative to an objective. We can't just say that time is wasted, period. If I have an objective to complete a homework assignment and I'm watching videos, I can say that watching those videos is wasting time. But if I switch that objective to learning something from those videos, as a student who's looking for excuses for his or her procrastination might do, then it would not be wasting time vis-a-vis that objective to learn something from the videos. If my objective is to make some money and I'm doing something such as is not conducing to making that money, then I can also say that I'm wasting time. We get the point. But if I switch the objective, then it may not be a wastage of time or of life. So here we can ask, what is it that most mean when they say, I wasted my life at this job? Presumably, it means that I had some kind of goal, I had some kind of desire, and it was not attained to by way of this work. What are some of those common desires and objectives that many of us have? Perhaps I had in mind a comfortable retirement. I worked for many decades and I didn't save up. Something happened, whatever it might be, paycheck to paycheck, and I don't have a comfortable retirement. So I can say that I've wasted my life at this job, meaning it did not lead me to where I wanted to go, which is to have a comfortable retirement. Perhaps a person has in mind a goal concerned with power. I don't really care how I'm going to procure that power, but I want power, be it in politics, be it in a corporation, whatever it might be. Now I've spent a long time working and I have not been rewarded with power. I haven't been promoted. Whatever the case might be, I haven't been recognized for my work. And therefore, I consider my career to have been wasted. We get the idea. There's some kind of objective, there's some kind of desire, some kind of goal, and we do not, in our judgment, deem that our work, our job, our profession, our career, however we classify things, led us towards that goal and towards that objective. So if we leave things at that, then there's a lot of subjectivity involved. It just depends on what I happen to want. Whatever desire it is that I have, be it concern money, power, prestige, I can set that as my goal. And then I can decide whether or not my job is moving me towards that goal or not. Fine, we could let that be, but we can push just a little bit deeper and ask ourselves, what should be our goal in life? And an obvious answer would use a word such as happiness. A good goal to have is happiness. I can have all the power, the prestige, the money that I want, the success that I aspire for. But if I'm miserable, if I'm very depressed, unfortunately, sometimes even suicidal, then who would say that that is worth it? The desire to stoke the flames of pride and vanity can be so strong that some would still say, yes, I don't care if I'm absolutely miserable and depressed, as long as I can feel myself to be number one. But that might be a false bravado. If I really think about what it's like to year after year, maybe decade after decade, be emotionally miserable or dead and not enjoying life whatsoever, it's difficult to uh, suppose that the satisfaction of pride outweighs that in the balance. So, anyways, we can say happiness, broadly speaking, is what we're after, and then our career, our job, our employment would not be a waste of time so far as it contributes to that goal of happiness. Now, the next question, obviously, to ask would be what does contribute to the goal of happiness? Here, common candidates that can be cited would be, for example, earning enough money, having a high enough position where I'm appreciated, things of that nature. It can be said that all such aspects can possibly conduce to temporary satisfaction, to relative satisfaction. So, for example, if I get a pay raise, I'll be kind of maybe joyous in the moment. It'll feel good for a few minutes, whatever it might be, acutely good. Then I may feel a kind of a more lasting or more moments of comfort and satisfaction when I think about that there's going to be more money in my bank account, more feelings of security. I can have some additional experiences that I would not otherwise have had. I can go on a trip maybe. I can maybe move somewhere better, something like this. But we see that all of these modifications of experience, at least considered in this way, are external to ourself, and therefore they pass and they turn into memories, and memories can be nice, but we can't live off of memories. Yesterday's dinner, once enough time has passed, will not feed me. The memory of yesterday's dinner. And just so memories of good times and this and that, they might actually only mock us. If now I don't have any opportunities for enjoyment, but I have all these memories of have had, there we go, right? Good times. It might just mock me as opposed to bringing me any consolation. I'm jealous of the old me. So we say that this idea that I'm going to attain to happiness simply through having good experiences, and I'm going to have good experiences by earning more money at work or feeling more successful at work or something like this, is is a very limited, should we say, interpretation of what it means to be happy and what it means to live a good life. So, what might then be a different interpretation as it concerns the question of what can lead us to happiness? Here, uh, we would point to ourself in the capacity of character. Basically, it would be said that I can be happy when I transform my character and I become human in a way such that only Homo sapiens can become human. When I go from being more so a human animal to more so a human being, when I go from being more so a taker to a giver, and in a profound way, right? When I overcome my selfishness, my self centeredness, my self concern, my self consciousness, and the negative connotation of that term, where it's me, I, right? It's all about me. When I overcome that, then I can truly be happy. Again, in a profound and genuine sense. An analogy would be, or could employ the body, right? When will my body give me utmost satisfaction? It is just when I'm not thinking about my body. As long as every time that I play with my kids or I go for a walk, I'm thinking of my joints, I'm thinking of my knees, my ankles because they hurt. That's no fun, right? It's just when, if and when my body were to, so to say, disappear, that's when I would really enjoy the activity. Right? I'm playing a sport and I'm not thinking about a stomach ache, a headache, about a lower back pain. I'm just focused on the activity. That's a good time, right? When am I going to be happy then as a person psychologically? When I'm not thinking, here's me and mine, right? And I'm this kind of person, and this is my personality, and this is what I want, and this is what I need, and these are my goals, and these are my aspirations, and this is who wronged me, and this is who is my enemy, and this, that, and the other. But instead, we're simply focused on what it is that we're doing, right? On what it is that we're becoming and can become, and what it is that we are. That would be a good time, so to say. That would be a happy time. So, again, keeping in mind that in question is something substantive and profound, not just some kind of superficial nicety. I'm going to be happy when I'm going to be a nice person and I'm going to give to charity. Now, something much more profound than that. It could then be asked, how can our career, how can our job, how can our work, how can our source of money conduce to that goal? The happiness understood in those Terms. Now, happiness understood in those terms is certainly predicated on our character. And our character is modifiable through a combination of thought and of activity. If I mindlessly do something and just move my hands, I'm probably not going to change my character much in most cases. There's maybe certain situations, certain things, but generally not. If I simply think in the way that most of us think of thinking, right? I'm just having word association, different thoughts are coming to mind. I also will not change my character. If, however, I combine actual thought, understanding something, and then activity, then over time my character can change. So, for example, in this case, concerning career, concerning jobs, concerning how not to waste our time at work, I can understand, first of all, an idea. Life will come to an end. The sole consolation that I can have truly in life is myself, is my character, but not myself as I think of myself now, right? In the animalistic, vulgar sense, me, I, but in a different sense, right? As we said, when I've forgotten about myself, I've gotten myself off my hands, my real character, my real being, what I am, who I am, that kind of thing. Now, in order for that to occur, to improve myself as such, I need to serve others. I need to do my duty. I need to stay busy. I need to aim upward above myself. I'm practicing becoming the kind of person that I want to be, that can be happy. And every day that I go to work, whatever it is that I do, I can then put in that practice time by working on thinking about myself less, thinking of those who I'm serving more, trying to move steadily in the direction of perfection concerning human personality, becoming genuinely kinder and more of a giver and less self centered, not superficially, not an act, but really truly from the inside out. That would be a good use of my time at work. Now I'm going to go to work and I'm going to do what I do and I'm going to have those ideas in mind. And through the combination of those ideas and thinking and contemplating and activity, eventually my character hopefully should change. And again, that would then be the best use of my time at work. Overcoming that self centeredness, overcoming that selfishness, because at the end of the day, I will not have any of my points of pride. I will either, just to get perfectly blunt and frank, I will either die before old age or I will reach old age and my powers will subside. And at the end, I will have nothing at all aside from the degree to which I have overcome my animality, my selfishness, my self centeredness. That is the real currency of reality. It's not something soft or nice to say. So that's kind of the idea. We asked, how do we not waste our time at work? If my job does not conduce to modifying my character, if I'm just doing something for the money, for the paycheck, to get by, to satisfy desires, fine, I can remain a human animal, and that's my prerogative, but I am indeed wasting my time, no matter how much I earn. If, however, I take my job, I take my work as an opportunity to overstep myself, to get myself off my hands, to improve my character. Assuming, that's an asterisk that might have been added initially, the little asterisk being that my job is not antisocial or destructive, and I can't really put this plan into action if I work at the scam center, if I work at stealing from people, something like this. I have to engage in good, honest employment that at least in principle is creating value for someone somewhere. If I'm not doing that, reconsider my life and try to do that. But let's say I am doing that, then I take my job, take my work as an opportunity to practice being the person that I want to be, i.e., unconcerned with myself, having overcome my self centeredness and having improved my character. I can do that through concrete things such as serving the customer, if that's an opportunity I have, such as diligently working away right? I'm digging a hole, whatever it might be, with dedication, right? Something like this. And also by thinking about what it is that I'm doing, having that purpose somewhere in mind. If I mindlessly just do what I do, the opportunities for character growth are limited. So combine that self awareness, that thought, with activity. And then hopefully, whatever job that I do, assuming that asterisk that was mentioned, it will be to my true and highest good and will certainly not be a waste of time. Thank you for listening.